Folks, how are you doing? Hey, Leo. Terrible Fire, how are you doing, dude? Oh, no echo, no echo, no echo, no echo. Leo, how are you doing? We missed you this week. Obviously, I'd say you're back at work. After that bout of creativity on your side. God, you were releasing like almost a video every day or every second day or something. That was quite impressive. How are you doing, dude? Now, been busy. Fair enough. You're back at work. Are you back at work? It's been a lot. Yeah. I mean, it literally was every. You were sending me a video every second day or something like that. Terrible Fire. I think you showed the man how square roots should have been. That version of square roots was it was great. It was really enjoyed it. It was brilliant, man. And it saved me because people actually in the comment section of Square Roots were like, "Oh, you should do a cover of that now." Like doing a cover of my own. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I wasn't going to, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad somebody did. It was great. It was a super surprise. Actually, it made it. It made making the tune even worth it for that. Like it was really cool. Linkley, how are you doing? I'm on days off, but I've been working on woodworking stuff. Oh, still okay. Fair enough. I got I was working on my lathe a while back. I got a few bits and things done, the containers for like holders and things like that. But I used it again to make those little wood instruments, well, things, the nail bow, and I'm still not very good at it, obviously, but especially in my wood choice. But it's cracking a lot. But this is it's a beautiful wood. It's blackthorn, and it has those beautiful patterns, but it's prone to cracking. But it's actually very solid. Like it looks like a softwood. It's actually a hardwood, and it's really heavy, which is perfect for stuff like that because it just adds a lot of resonance into this thing. Anyway. Terrible Fire, ignore me. I can't help trolling. Well, you know how I stand on trolling, especially trolling like that. I do enjoy it, and I think after 25 years in Ireland, I can take it now. They're very good. Oh, here's Fiona back. You like that piece? Got a bunch of free woodworking tools, and you've been moving them all day. Oh wow! I'm working on. My plan is to actually move all the woodworking stuff I have into a separate shed, so that way I don't have to deal with the dust, like cleaning the dust or covering things whenever I'm doing woodwork. It'll all be just woodwork, and that'll be that. But I need to shift a lot of stuff. So at the moment, I'm working a lot outside. There's going to be a lot of shed videos on the other channel, which I've started renaming, by the way. The 8-Bit Man Shed will no longer be the 8-Bit Man Shed. It's going to be, what did I go for? Surf and Sheds or something like that. It needs to be its own workplace. Yeah, absolutely. Like in my shed at the moment, I have everything. Like I have metal. I have just general DIY. I have electronics as well, like the Square Store monitors. I have woodworking. It's just a mess. Like I need to cover everything every time I want to work on something or move stuff outside. So I'm just going to reshuffle stuff and reclaim some of the space I have. So bear with me, folks. Interestingly, somebody wants to hoover at 9:30 in the evening. Anyway, I'll close the door. It should provide us a bit of a privacy. So for tonight, I think you spy an Amiga in the background. Yes, you do. Which way is this? Yes, you do. I've had it on most days last week, and I didn't get a chance to use it this week at all. Actually, the mic is in the way. Anyway, yeah, that's the Amiga you sent me. Terrible Fire sent me an Amiga 1200 in different parts that he managed to scavenge from different places, and one of his legendary TF 1260 accelerator boards. Thank you again, dude. You know what? I hadn't powered the Amiga 500 in quite a while, and I've been powering this and just playing with the workbench and just trying demos and games almost every day until this week. I was busy this week. We're getting the place repainted, and we're getting some electrical work, so I was busy with that as well. So I haven't had a chance. Anyway, rambling. Yeah, I'm absolutely enjoying it. Absolutely, yeah. All right. Let's continue some Castlevania work. So, slightly change the setup. Let me move over here. I hope the mic isn't making too much noise when I move it. I'm going to try and not touch it, but yeah. So there's been a couple of changes in the lineup. So this is just here for show. I'm not going to use it here. I've replaced the Volca keys. This guy. I've replaced it with another Volca FM. Why is it not making a sound? Oh, because Athagorn, how are you doing? So this is working. Anyway, so but this guy, as cool as it is, and I love, I actually love it. I will use it again for just maybe sessions. I've loaded it up with Amiga samples. The problem is you can't really control it with standard MIDI. And I don't know why they have it designed like that. Now there's workarounds to do it, but it's just messy and it's just awkward. And so instead of using that for drums, I've put in my old Roland. Is this making a sound? Yeah, it is. I'll have to be careful. The Tr-505, which is the sort of 80s metal kick and drums machine. There you go. You put some 80s guitar over it, and now you have an 80s track. I've used that in a few tracks already. So I have that, and I got myself another Volca FM, and I've actually I'm waiting for a third one to arrive because I want to do some Sega covers, and they will sound great with some FM sounds. What is this? Oh, I know. Like, how cool is this? And the Mega Drive especially, and a lot of these Sega arcade machines would have those type of FM chips in them, so it's perfect to try and do covers of them with hardware like that. But I'm not going to use them tonight. We're actually going to minimize the sound. I'm just keeping them on just for show, for the lights. But you're gonna drive out of town to pick up your new stove and microwave. Okay, we'll drive safely and enjoy your new stove and microwave. Dude, thanks Leo for dropping by. We might catch you later. And then I have those two Roland synths. There's actually two more of these I'd love to get. I'd love to get SH01 and the other one I forget. So I might get more. The G06 is cool. It's iconic, but I think in the long run, I'd probably replace it with the SH01 because this sort of covers this already in a way. But it'll be cool to have options. The Volca modular, you can't control that to MIDI either, so it's going to be just for jams maybe at some point. So another Volca FM is going to go here in its place. Clorin Man, how are you doing? Good evening. We have a few people tonight. So let me just load up the track from the last time. Okay. So it's going to be half tinkering with the audio here and half doing some MIDI stuff. Castlevania, no, it's the cover. I'm working in a Castlevania cover as well from the Game Boy series. So I've done a little bit more since the last time. I've swapped instrument. The Volca keys is handy because it's a polyphonic. So we can have a few tracks going to, I think it's polyphonic up to what, 4 voices? Three voices. No, 4. Yeah, 4 voices. So I'm sending actually the lead and the harmony on this. Yeah, 4 voices, Adrian. Yeah. How are you doing, Adrian? That's the stuff I was posting. I was playing with this, just refining the sound. But we did most of this the last time when I was streaming this. So here I have the Roland Tr-505. You can see the red LED light up for each voice underneath. Can you? Can you? You're too tired, Linkley. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think these are just, it's 4 lights here, but I don't think it lights up the Volca keys. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, now we have the TR-505 just playing the drums instead of the Volca keys that actually, unfortunately, cannot be controlled with MIDI. There are workarounds, and I did try a few of them. That's why I haven't been streaming any of this. I was trying to get this guy to work. And there's a few workarounds, and I could not get any of them to work for me. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. I just couldn't get it to work, which is a shame. I was really looking forward to playing with the Amiga drum samples I have in here. But I suppose the TR-505 isn't a bad replacement. So right now what you're hearing is just, and like it's all the synths. So you're just, the MIDI is just connecting to the synths directly, not to an actual VST. We've got the Volca bass. I love this thing. Really, really cool drum. I have a kick, and I didn't need a kick, but I think I got it for 60 euros, and I just couldn't pass it. Adrian, if you've been looking, I don't know if you've been looking for any Volca stuff, but whenever they were cheap on adverts, I've been just swiping them. If they were for less than 100, I've been just just grabbing them as many as I could. So that's actually just playing a kick, and I do like. I very much like the sound of it. It's a very nice kick, very configurable, and I'll be using that. I think for more than just these type of covers. Actually, I'll be using that in the future for sure. Having a good kick is really hard, so having something like that is very, very handy. And the main melody is also played by DG06. In combination with the keys. Sorry, that's the harmony. I think they work really well together, so that's why I did that. You were tempted to get an FM. Yeah, you're covered with that Mega Drive synth for that kind of stuff, for sure. I got 3 FMs for like each were under €100, so you know I'll use them, definitely use them. And then we have. That's the thing I added since last time. I did something with it, but it was just to have chords in the background with the JX03. Something kind of that was a little bit half harpsichord, half organ, and that was it. You get the idea. No, Terrible Fire. No, it's not Castlevania. It's not Castlevania.
Because you can't do that, lads. It's everyone. Because you can't do that.
Anyway, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. I got a few more as well, which I know Terrible Fire will appreciate. And Adrian,
just play the note.
Things like that, and yeah. Anyway, so I think the first thing I want to do is tidy some of those chords. Actually, that I wasn't happy with. Because we've got so much echo on this, we don't need the. No, actually. It's hard to be subtle with that type of MIDI because you can send notes, but you're limited in the what type of CC parameters you can send to it. So we're gonna have to just work around it and sort of brute force our way with notes. Like here for the bass. To get a slide because it's a monophonic synth. Actually, I could extend. I'm just overlapping the notes, and when you do that, it actually just forces the note to slide from one into each other. If I didn't do that, actually, no. Fiona, come in. It sounded like, yeah, come in. Da, 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 da.
Tea and pickies. You cut me out.
She hates being on camera. Hey, Fiona. So, yeah, if I had it like that, That's what it would sound like. So we can actually just fake a slide by forcing it to go into monophonic, and it does a portamento in between notes. And now we have a slide. So we're gonna have to do cheating like that. So you had to make the overlap on the software. Yes, exactly. So I'm just controlling, instead of the thing with sequencer is that sequencer are always software. You know, I know I have an Arturia Keystep Pro, and there's actually a great sequencer with, you can have up to 64 steps in it. Even that is not enough really to do a whole sequence like that. But unless you're actually patching control voltages into different steps physically, it's actually software sequencer. So there's no difference really between having an Arturia Pro doing faking a hardware sequencer to having the MIDI here controlling the synth. And this offers a lot more flexibility than doing it with a sequencer like that. The reason I have an Arturia Pro is that I like the randomization on it. So having stuff that will randomize over 64 steps is actually really, really cool and handy. So I'd like to do some sessions of just entirely randomized music at some point. Pete Mouse, how are you doing? But do them live, you know, just pick a key and a chord progression and randomize things on this. Hey, surfers. So I'm not actually happy with this guy, so we're gonna see if we can tidy that and maybe change the sound, because it's just, it sounds fine on its own, but I think it's a bit weak, and we could square off the that sound, make it a bit more aggressive. Bit of a trooper going into the water this time of the year. That's only the half of it. I've been going for a swim. Oh, see, you've seen the video, yeah, you've seen it. I went back for a swim today as well. I have it on camera. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
It's not looking too good, lads.
So I think we could just... you usually wait in holding your nuts this time. Oh, trust me, these are the least of your worry. The naughty bits. They can be painful to submerge, but it's the chest, because as soon as you get in, you start getting into hyperventilation, and you really need to control your breathing, because it's cold still. I don't know what temperature is the water this time of year. How's the sound from your end, by the way, Pete Mouse? Because I know you probably have a better setup than most people listening, and definitely than me. I tried my best to reduce. I had a ground loop. I realized that now, so I actually got rid of that. And my problem is I was powering stuff via the mains, and also I had them connected to USB when I didn't need them connected to USB. So I've removed all the unnecessary USB connections, and I think I'm okay now. You don't know yet. Fair enough. So I think this is it. We can reduce some of the notes here by just making them. Phone, why are you buzzing? very precise scientific description of a temperature. It's between cold and freezing. Litholian, how are you doing? How are you doing? Night session. Yeah, I do a few. I've been trying to do one a week. I'm not sure. I can't remember if I streamed last week, but at least do one music session a week. I don't think I streamed last week, did I? Or was I doing that Castlevania as well? And I didn't do a playing session. 10 degrees Celsius in Galway Bay. I'm not buying that. I think it felt colder, but water. Galway Bay. Like, where did my things go? Kind of cold. Yeah, it's you know, at that temperature, it's not the naughty bits I'm worried about. I did. That was the 13th. I had to go in there with the hard facts. So that was last week. Yeah, I do try to do something at least once a week, but it's not always easy. I don't have no. Anyway, I'm not gonna look that up too. It probably is 10 degrees. Yeah, it's cold. It's freaking cold. No. That's not the part I wanted. Phone, stop buzzing. Okay. I shaved them off. Manscaped. They got manscaped. I got a few more commands, by the way, if you want to try them out. You'd call a friend to watch that day. You just, oh, fair enough. You can find out what the commands are. So where were we? Okay, so we can repeat that. Just to make it a little bit more aggressive, and then I think we'll square off that sound. Of course, you had to try the Manscaped one. I got what else? I got look, list, pick, examine, look, open, close, and use. That I don't think I shared the last time or earlier on. If you're Pete Mouse, if you don't go into, if you're not in the Banjo Radio stream during the day, you're probably gonna wonder what this is all about. You're making some things on the CNC. Fair enough. What were you making? You know what I've been thinking about is getting myself a proper 3D printer at some point, because I do have a couple of things that could do with being 3D printed. Ah, somebody tried the list. It's a list. I dig my own grave with all those commands. I won't be able to compose and reduce. Remember, I wrote every single one of those commands. Yes, it is Terrible Fire's fault. You're making a wooden plaque for your father-in-law. He's getting 7. Oh, that's lovely. That's very nice. Oh wow, that's cool. Whoa. What went wrong? What went wrong? Yeah, there's a detune there, but I can't think I've disabled. Oh yeah, I know. No. Yo, what happened? Hey, absolutely not. I know what happened. I changed something on the keyboard here, and it must have sent a CC command to this guy that I don't know about. And how do I like the GX03? Actually, I have the monitor here. I could read the. Do you like the? Yeah, I do. I do. One of the most underrated boutique. Started a nice 80s track a while back. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I think it's surplus, or the GU03, GU06 is probably surplus to requirement when you have the GS03, really, because you can get most of the sounds that you would get on this. You can get it on this guy as well. I actually like the bits from. I could actually do something else here. I actually, yeah, I like this bit. I'm not sure I like the beginning. Yeah, I don't think that fits in. The other thing we need to consider is maybe have a longer intro, maybe just have some. Let's try something else here. Yeah, I very much like the GX03, and you're right. I mean, everybody, me included. I did at first. I went for the G06, and I was thinking about that. The what's the other one? The other iconic one. I can't remember anyway. Juno 6 and the Jupiter 8 equivalent. And I think people tend to gravitate towards that just because they're iconic. But I think the GX03 is a far better option, and I'd like to get an SH01, G08, yeah, and yeah, I know the one you mean. I'd like to get the is it SH01? Is that it? Is that the one? I'd like to get one of these. Just because I these are very nice and soft, but I'd like to get a more aggressive synth in that setup. So maybe down the line I replace the G06 with that, or just add on top of it. I'm just running out of space, so just have to consider maybe I can have one flat here, one flat row. So I'll have the modular. I'd love to get another keys. And I don't need the Beats because I'm going to use a Tr-505. So maybe another modular, another keys, and an SH01 here. Yeah. So, and that'll be my setup pretty much completed. I don't need the big synths, you know, because I do have a keyboard here and I can control all these with this. So it's... I have to think of space and practicality. I mean, what's really handy is I can actually just have one camera on all of these, and if I have an extra row here, I can, you know, certainly have these guys here, and they'll still be visible, or make a four Volca mount thing. Arturia mini brutes and micro brutes can sound aggressive, but are monophonic. Yeah, I like the option of having either monophonic or polyphonic, because you can either use them for obviously melodies or chords, or have just melodies that can actually have notes overlapping, you know. So I like the options of having both in one synth. So I have to consider things like that when I get near gear, and I very much like the Volca range, and you can't really go wrong with the Roland boutique. I know a lot of synth people are sort of dismissive of these guys, but I think they're great, and they do a great job, especially in a full mix, you know. Yura, how are you doing? I've been following a lot of that channel Sonic State over the past couple of years, long before I started getting myself into getting things like that, and just to familiarize myself with the technology and what's what, and understand. So I recommend Sonic State if you are interested in synthesizers and technology. They have a great podcast, and they do it's bad for your wallet. yeah, you have to be, because they review a lot of new synths and new stuff, and yeah, you have to be discerning with what you actually will use and want, and yeah, the danger is you'll want everything, which you know, I mean, this is starting to add up here, and there's bits that I'm not using, you know. What else have I got? they're here. I have that Korg SQ01, and I have I've a few other bits that aren't plugged in. That'll be handy if I need them. Anyway, I'm talking too much. So, for the purpose of the cover and the progression, we'll have instruments coming in and out. But right now, I'm just trying to find. That's the way I work with the covers. I'm trying to find the full mix, like with everything together, and have it properly balanced and having everything sound sort of distinctive without drowning. Having instruments drown each other. And then once I have that balance, I mix it down. So I just bring in instruments, sections, and then I rework some of the arrangements just to make them those instruments fit. But for now, I'm just trying to get that full mix. So we'll probably have those chords and then maybe a third harmony that isn't in the original. Ryudo, how are you doing? Good more evening, yeah, good, whatever. Good time of the day. Yeah, click here. No, I don't want to click to reply. Why icon? Go away. Definitely have that with guitar playing. Otherwise, just keep fiddling around with sound options instead of playing. Yeah. Less is more. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes you especially with gear, when you start thinking about what gear you want, and you can get into analysis paralysis, and it doesn't help you make music or make content. Sometimes you just gotta. I mean, that's what I did with the channel. Initially, I just had the banjo and started the channel, and that was it. That's what I had, and then build it up from there. But sometimes you just gotta dive in and then and do your best, and then refine and fine tune it. And I feel that's kind of what I'm doing now with the synths. It's sort of new territory for me. So analysis paralysis, you need to remember that term. Yes, yeah, it's a very it's an elegant one. I like it because it says it all. It's just sometimes by just overthinking things like, do I need this, or is this thing better, or you end up just overthinking and not actually buying the gear, or not actually starting a piece, because you have that piece and you go, okay, I need that as well, and then you get the other whatever Korg or element, and then you go, okay, yeah, but I need that as well to be complete. No, just start with what you have and then build it up from there, and then do what I do, which is 6 years later, and redo some of the covers I'm not entirely happy with, or that I feel I could do better. There's always that option to redo or rework on your own stuff. So actually, could I just take that and just recopy the will that work? Why does it sound out of tune? Seems okay here. Is that just me, or do you hear it as well? Something's off, yeah, isn't it? We just do it like this for now. Can't get to see a sample of this after the next video challenge. I haven't done one of those I've only done the Castlevania one. But yeah, I'm not sure. See, that's the thing. I'm not sure what I'll do with these synth covers. Should I release them as videos? Maybe just having a camera like here, and then just filming some of the synths or individual synths, just for the sake of having flashing lights, and then maybe having some of the media displayed. I don't know what I'll do with these covers, or just release them on Bandcamp. Why is this slightly out of tune? Addy, how are you doing? Is the bass the U-bass sound? No, it's this guy. Yeah, it's all synths tonight. It's just it's nothing but hardware synths controlled with the software here. Is it me? Let me just switch this guy off. I know what it was. I know what it was. I must have touched this by accident and left slight bit of tuning. Now there's something else in there now that I don't like. Oh yeah, I know. When you reboot them, the sequencer reboots and you can't actually delete the sequence, which is as far as I know you can't, which is a problem in those guys. Oh god, what have I done? What have I done? No, it's good. As far as I know, there's no way to completely delete the stock sequence. So every time, actually what I could do is not actually sync the start in MIDI. Maybe that'll work. I'm not sure how to do that on the hardware. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So let's just see. Let's consolidate that. there was a, a banjo in rocket science. Okay, so we're gonna copy that because we don't need. I'll do it. Is it me? Something's off with this instrument. Something is weird with this guy. I think that's it. Nope. Out of tune too low, so it needs to be. To me, it sounds. Yeah, it's still out of tune. So bear with me. personally dial them in per note. Don't know if that's possible. I'm not sure what you mean, Beat Mouse. Highest note of the 3 chord. You've lost me there. It's MIDI, so the signal I'm sending is right. It's just something here. But I think we're getting there. I don't think it's as bad as it was. These things have very, very fine LFOs pretty much everywhere, so it's just a matter of finding the one that's messing up our tuning. But I think it's okay now, isn't it? The notes and the chords are not in tune. No, they are. It's just it's an LFO thing that detunes slightly every few beats. The chords are fine and the notes are fine. It's just the seems more steady now. Before I had some kind of decay in the end. Yeah, the LFO is a low frequency oscillator, and it can be assigned to different parameters, including a tuning, and because this is a 2-voice one, there was a discrepancy in the oscillation between the 2 oscillators. I tell you what, the problem is not with this guy, it's with this guy. But this guy has a low frequency oscillator that you can't quite turn off. And it's creating that slight out of tune feeling that I've been chasing. If you can hear that phasing. So there's a slight phasing, and it actually creates that sort of out of tune effect. It's not quite out of tune. It's just it's a phase thing that actually creates a little bit of dirtiness. No, it's not compression. Yeah, it's just a phasing thing because of a low frequency oscillator that you can't quite turn off on this guy. You can hear it now. It's definitely a feature of the Juno 6. So I have a pulse width modulation on the square wave, which I'm going to turn off. All that for that. I was looking at the wrong instrument. Okay. And they say making synth music is easy. it's nothing but hassle and nightmare. I lost track of what I was trying to do with this cover now. Tell you what, the thing we can do is actually drop everything by 1 octave and just change that. Okay. That's Ed Horse, how are you doing? Could we make something with the bass? Something like that. Sounds a lot better. Thank you. I think so too. I think so. It's a nightmare when something goes off, and like that. I was looking at the wrong synth. It was this guy all along playing the melody. I could complement that with maybe some this here. So actually this guy could do with some decay. Actually, how does that sound as a... I like a bit of decay on this guy. Something like that. That's what we want. No, 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 no. Why did he split? Why did he split? I don't know. So much for trying to do things the fast way. I love the idea of controlling this guy with MIDI. Oh, I did snuck a little sneak it. Where is it? Where is it? It's here somewhere. Yeah. The whole drum section is actually I very much enhanced it to sound a bit more disco-ish. Now, time to start arranging stuff. Kind of 808. Really? Oh no, that's not at all an 808 though. 808 would be a lot fatter and why are you not blue? It's a 505, in fact. Like an 808 would be to insert MIDI track. There you go. There's an 808. And oh, please don't crash. Oh, please don't crash. But I don't want to do software stuff. The whole point is doing hardware stuff. And that's an 808. It might be shifted because the 505 has a different drum pattern stuff. So let me just Oh yeah. Just for the sake of it. Just for the let's just 808 this thing. Come on. Oh no. In case you haven't, let's in case you haven't noticed, I love getting distracted. I made a mistake here. It should be closed hi-hat. And these should be open. Now there's an 808. Suspense is yeah, it's one of those moments where it crashes like that when that little wheel spins and it crashes at the end, or you don't know if it's going to crash, and you're like,
Oh, bollocks.
so yeah, no, it's more so this is very much a 505 distinct sound. 505. What's the cool thing with Ableton Live like that is you can actually change. So if I actually could I replace that for so this is a software 505. It comes with Ableton Live. Your question is, why do you need something like that when you have that in software? You don't. You really don't. The whole point of doing this is doing it with the hardware. Technically, you could do it with software. So hardware, software, hardware, software. If there's a difference, my ears aren't fine-tuned enough to hear it. There's some phasing because of the sample rate, but it's pretty accurate. I don't hear it. People people will tell you they hear it. I don't. But then again, I've old man ears. Let's remove this. Let's save. If it sounds good, it sounds good. You're absolutely right. And that's always been my motto. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Actually, we don't need the FM stuff here. You can delete those. Okay, so let's take this entire stuff and copy it here. And here, we don't want that. Could we do another slide thing? Something like that. Yeah, no? Okay, so we do this. Nope. There's something I'm not sure I can do. Zéphirin, bonsoir. Thanks very much, dude, for dropping by. Zéphirin here was a former. I don't know if are you still technically a member of Like as Retro, and it's a podcast, a French podcast I take part in. I used to be a fan, and I'm still a fan, but now I'm a member, which it's probably one of the highlight of my life technically, being a member of that podcast. Never mind the channel and all that. I very much enjoy it, and I used to listen to Zéphirin talk about games a few years back. Are you still a member? Are you left? Are you coming back? I'd love to hear you more. Actually, I really would. So we need an octave jump. Whoa. Wow. You stubborn if I left it open for you. Yeah. He's very good like that. You weren't well, to be honest. Fair enough. Yeah, I know if you guys would love to have you back, and I certainly. That's the thing about this podcast is I'm still a fan in. Whenever I'm not in one of the podcasts, I really look forward to hearing my friends and the other guys talk about whatever game they're talking about. Which I was afraid when I joined it. I was like, will I still enjoy? Now that I know what's behind the scene, will I still enjoy listening to it? But I still do. I'm still very much a fan, which is it's weird, I suppose, but it's great. So I'd love to hear you again, because you had a very nice way of talking about some topics that I very much enjoyed. Anyway, it's entirely up to you, obviously. I think that bass could be a bit louder. And could it use some? Oh no, I can't. But can I pervert another instrument to a... So now we're getting to the interesting bit, which is actually composing and arranging and adding extra bits, which is my favorite part. I do mean it, Zephy. I really mean it. I think you added something that to the podcast that nobody else brought, and I think the more voices in there, the better. Anyway, if any of you, I don't think there's many French speakers here tonight, but if any of you are here, je vous invite, je vous invite à écouter le podcast de la casse rétro. Non, pas simplement parce que j'en fais partie, mais parce que c'est très intéressant et je suis toujours fan du podcast moi-même. Et j'adore écouter les copains de la case parler de jeux que j'ai jamais fait et en parler d'une façon que d'une façon dont je pourrais pas en parler. Chacun a sa voix propre et c'est très agréable. That was it. Bonjour. I think I used to spell it. Fiona's learning French, and I used to make fun of her a while back. I try not to anymore. She's actually getting a lot better, but she used to go bonjour and bonsoir, and I used to spell it like that. Something like that. With the new team, you rather felt it was not needed. I don't think it's whether it's needed or not. Some, even if there's some redundancy in the voices and the type of people, not everyone has done the same games, and I've actually refrained from being on some of the podcasts that on games that I've played and experienced and I liked or didn't, just because I felt some people were better suited or I would be redundant because somebody else was in there. But it's good to have options and different voices, you know. I think the more the better in this podcast. Especially because it's not about the personalities, but it's more about the experience, and everybody has a way of researching stuff that is different. I don't think I can send a CC message. That's the problem. Maybe I can, and I don't know it yet. Is there anything to the keys where I can send automate. Okay. Automation. Can I automate any of that? I'm not sure. Nope. That's cheating. Everything in music is cheating. Everything. It's all smokes and mirrors. Something like that might work. If your synth allows it, and I know you can send some CC messages to some of these synths, I just have to look at the Roland, the Korg and the Roland CC implementation. But basic stuff like pitch, velocity, maybe sustain, and a few other parameters that are actually standard MIDI controls should be able to be automated or set, automated with software on these. In fact, there's a way to record these synths that it'll actually automate some of the changes, so you can actually play it, press record, play it, change some of the stuff live, and it'll actually record that. So you should be able to automate some stuff. I'm not sure how to do it, so we're gonna, like I said, brute force our way through the composition here. No. What am I doing? What am I doing? Terrible fire turned west. I think you haven't tried south yet. Forget, did I finish the Arduino Raspberry Pi project? Yeah, the MIDI controller I have, and I managed to fix it in software. The issue I was having with the drifting, and it's as Notes and Vote said, it was a software fix, finding that right value where it would sort of average the change. So I fixed that, and then I realized I wasn't using it for anything. So it's out of my off my desk because I don't actually use it. I don't need it. It was just a cool project. So I'll probably reuse all the knobs and pots for something else in longer. You know, a lot of these Arduino projects like that they're very cool. They're cool projects. It's rarely something you use. Like even if you look at Notes and Volts, is that the name? Volts and Notes, Notes and Volts. His setup is actually proper hardware synths. You know, I know he shows some of the stuff he uses, but I very much doubt he uses those for jamming or actual composition. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But his actual setup is proper synth like that. You know, he's got a couple of keyboards, and I know he's got a few Volcas, and I've spotted a few Roland boutique stuff. I don't like that. And I think here we're going to add a third harmony on the keys because we get that. So we get that 3-note. Actually, we have 4 notes. We can polyphonic to up to 4 notes. South is against the order. What else have I got command wise? I know I have a few more. Let me go. Your girlfriend? Oh, she speaks French. Is she French or speaks French? I'm just gonna grab a drink, folks. Got me some crunchies. Now, where was I? So I think we are going to add an extra harmonic line here. Which one is which, by the way? Right flag speaks French, grandparents are French. Oh yeah, messages are.
But alors you are French?
I'm gonna call it a night, dude. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be a tricky exercise trying to find a third harmony on that. Have a good night. Should I have I got something for you before you go to bed? Something, Father Teddy? No, just go to bed.
Down with this sort of thing. Careful now.
No, terrible fire. You're not going to bed yet, Pete Mouse. Okay. Let me tidy things up. So this key is it's the Volca keys. Actually, I don't need this one, my template. Harmony 1, this is the lead. Go here, and second harmony. If I can find it, because kick, bass, okay, we got everything. After the 2 days, I was proud of myself. He kind of understood a bit of the question that the family asked me. Very good. Very good. I am impressed. I can't say my Portuguese or any other language has improved over the years. Back, you watched this our video, really funny. I should stream that at some point. Maybe just play it live. Oh, I just saw your comment there, Edors. That's the thing. I'm gonna make a video just announcing stuff, but that channel is gonna shift slightly in focus. I mean, I don't have time to fix arcade boards anymore. I really don't, and I'd rather move my focus to either music or and the next thing that I like. Actually, the thing that I like more than music, which is surfing. So I'm gonna do a lot more vlogs of surfing and of just DIY stuff around the house. That means that the repair videos are probably going to be phased out over some time. Although I do have some cab restorations coming up. I still have that candy cab. I have that crazy taxi cab, and I have a Thunderblade. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Thunderblade cab coming up that has been converted to something completely different that I'm going to restore to a Thunderblade. So that might take a while. And I know I might shift stuff, you know, just swap cabs. We'll see, but I think down the line it's just going to be more restoration type of stuff, sort of bigger projects than fine electronics repairs. Not that 8-bit stuff is fine, you know, but it's just I don't have time. And also my neck is suffering when I do those. I'm hunched over, and it's taking a toll on my my neck and my spine. Doing that for the past 3-4 years now at this stage. So yeah, I'm gonna take, I think, a break from that kind of stuff and refocus the channel, which was before, you know, it was more of a DIY type of stuff. And that's years worth of cab videos. Absolutely, I think I've done my part in documenting these repairs, and just because that channel was always it was always a mixed bag for stuff that isn't musical. You know, it was just more about documenting all my other hobbies. So I renamed it already. I've changed the profile picture, and I think I'll phase out the repair altogether. It's going to be, yeah, neck and spine are already a mess because of that, probably. Yes, it's just really bad for you, especially for me, because I do like doing a lot of physical activity outside. You know, surfing is a big one, and it's very demanding on your spine. So yeah, I can't. I reached a stage at some point, I think it was last year, beginning of last year, where I went out paddling and I realized I couldn't bring my neck back like that, which you need to do when you're paddling surfing. And it's from years of just being in that position over a desk. So it's not good for me. I don't have any more boards to fix anyway, and it was just taking too much of my time. So my channel, yeah, I know my focus, my channel, I know, but it's just people sort of expect a certain type of content. You know, when they subscribe to a channel, they expect a certain type of content. So I'm probably going to lose subscribers and people who support the channel, which is understandable, and I'm totally fine with that. So yeah, so it's going to be a lot more of these surf videos and maybe DIY videos in general. I have plenty of shed work to do. Good night, Edars. We could actually invert those. Why is that? Really sucks for you. You really like doing desk work. Yeah, I mean, I love painting. I had to just put a stop to that as well because it's hours of being like that over a desk, and because I'm painting small formats. If I was painting bigger formats, I probably could have an easel on the wall, or a painting on the wall. Sorry, a canvas on the wall, or have them on a big easel. But I don't, and yeah, it's just unfortunate. I mean, as you can see, like I have a tendency to hunch like this and trying to correct my posture even when I'm playing music and streaming. So it's just something I have to be conscious of, and because I do like to surf quite a bit, I have to be careful with that kind of stuff. You get like a claw hand after all. Yeah, but any activity that is sustained for certain amount of hours on a regular period, it's gonna create wear and tear, you know. There's no avoiding that. I mean, it's just whether you're painting, you're doing repairs, or you're a musician, like some musicians or fiddle players suffer from elbows and that kind of stuff. If you're doing any activity for a sustained period of time, regularly, like a few times a week, yeah, there's going to be some wear and tear because you're in the same position all the time. You're going to cramp up. It's going to affect your bones. It's going to affect your muscles. The only cure is to move regularly, do different types of exercise to counter that, which I'm doing generally. But you know, I'm 45. It's I need to bind my bones and muscles at this stage. Okay, this is not because we got all these notes. So we can't have this. Yeah, it's conflicting. Can I actually build something with this? Sorry about the crunch. Yeah, I do like this. And here we just might go freestyle with a yeah, something like let me think. The chat has gone really quiet. I wonder if people have fallen asleep at their desk. Yeah, not there age-wise, although you already have back pain every day. Started when you were 16. Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, I've always been conscious of my physical health, so to speak, and I've always exercised and done either a sport or some activity. So I've never really been completely out of shape, but it's always something I'm conscious of, and it's in the back of my mind that I just need to mind the body, especially as I get older. Your driving just got here, so we're making progress with that cover. Should we play it for Leo? You had to load some stuff. I think this could be more drastic as a transition. Especially because I really like that bass line. Maybe we could kill something else. maybe get rid of the harmony altogether. TGL dubstep. It is a synth cover, you know. We're going there. We're going there. We're halfway there. Might as well go entirely there. You know, I've done the traditional instrument cover. I've done the cow cover, the Castlevania. Let's go full synth and embrace it. Completely embrace it. .505. We need some reverb on the 505. It is a 505 after all. It's the drum I use. It's the drum you use when you want to sound 80s or 90s, really. When you want to sound 90s that sounds like 80s. That's sort of fake 80s, because music from the 80s, like all the synthwave stuff and all that passes as 80s stuff, that's actually 90s stuff, you know. 80s was just the trailing end of the 70s, really. Full orchestra, reggae, and everything. You can mix so many different styles of any cover you want. That's the beautiful part of covering stuff from the 8-bit era. It wasn't orchestrated in any sort of direction, so you can actually just make it whatever you want. This is why it works. This is why I stay away from stuff from, more or less, not all the time, but this is why I do a lot of 8-bit and to some extent 16-bit stuff. It's because you can orchestrate it, or you can rearrange it as you please. The sound wasn't defined. When we started getting into sampled instruments, then we started getting into a defined sound and a defined vibe and atmosphere, which makes it really hard to reorchestrate or rearrange stuff in a different style. For 8-bit stuff, it's just a gold mine. It can be done in any sort of way. So people say, like, you know, this tune fits the banjo or the mandolin or whatever. It doesn't. It just wasn't written with anything specific in mind. So it works. something about do 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 do. Yeah, I hear that. Am I going to give a full demo at the end, by the way? Yeah, right now I'm just trying to find the arrangement, but I will release this somehow. I'm not sure exactly what format it'll take, whether I'll just have a mix of the MIDI stuff being played and the a few shots of the the instruments and the synths. Or will I just release it on Bandcamp or something like that? But yeah, I'll let me finish this section, and I think we'll be pretty much done. Really, there's not much I can add afterwards. It's going to be a short cover. Why is this doing this? I think here we can actually just just take all of this. Adding a third harmony is always very constraining, because the rule with harmonies, you want them to be like melodies in their own right. So this is a melody. I'm not sure this is quite there, but sometimes a supporting sort of harmony to the first harmony works, and it doesn't quite need to be a counterpoint melody type of stuff. Although we could stop doing that. Something like that. It's trying to go Uh, yeah, I think you're right, Pete Mouse. It does sound like something resonating, which in that context of a digital oscillator would be a buffer overflow. I think you might be right there. I keep trying to change. It's here, Ali. That. Trying to understand the context this would happen in, though. That works. Look back maybe the way the reverb delay set up. Yeah, it's actually on the Volca keys. You might be right. There's a feedback loop, but it's only in certain times it happens. Anyway, it's not too annoying. I wonder, would it sound better on the... Nope, it sounds terrible. I was wondering where it was playing from. Yeah, it's looping. Okay, I think that's our arrangement. It's simple enough, but it's a couple of interesting bits. Maybe I should do a few more drops and things like that somewhere in the middle. Although it's kind of once the it sort of gets going here, and it's nice to keep it flowing and building up. I think I'll just play it one last time, and then we fade things out afterwards. So, well, not in the master, because it's actually not playing from the master. It's actually playing just from the mixer. What you're hearing is not coming from the DAW. It's actually coming from the mixer. I'm just controlling the MIDI just through here, but there's nothing coming into the master here, if you know what I mean. So I can't really automate anything volume-wise. It's only when I'm gonna record it at some point. So I'll create like an audio track, and I'm gonna disable my mic and let it play. In fact, I should probably disable everything else. So let me just check. Well, everything else that is not being used is this guy. And there's this guy. I think everything else is being used. Yeah. Nope. Interesting. I have it disabled, but it's still getting some signal. Okay, let's fill the volume all together. Okay. I feel we could get like a cymbal. Why are you not playing? I just killed my my DAW. Let's save this quickly. Please repeat. Trying to find a mix I'm happy with. I think that's as far as I'm going to take it hardware-wise. I'm going to record all of this with just a rough mixing, and then we can do a mastering on the final track afterwards. Maybe add some... Actually, could we use some panning on this? You're legitimately from nowhere. Sorry, I missed the chat. Oh, wow, okay. You just drove out of town to pick up your new stove and microwave. Okay. Could we have some just maybe hardware panning? actually, I don't think we can do much because this is all one instrument here. So if I pan this even slightly, the other option would be to record every track separately, but I think it defeats the purpose of doing it as much as we can hardware-wise. You know what? Let's just record this as is. And I'm gonna cut my mic and any other thing that isn't strictly necessary for this. So bear with me. Whoa, what was that? Something skipped. The melody. Oh yeah, I don't hear it necessarily in the. Would this make a difference? 1 and 2. Let's try it. Something skipped again. Something skipped again. Not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. Something is making the MIDI skip. We'll try something here. We'll just try some sort of count. Might help tidy the clock, and then we'll see. We'll see. So we have the drop again. Something is happening. I mean, there's a tiny bit of latency, which is to be expected because I'm sending MIDI to the thing that's sending it back to the mixer, that's sending it back to the computer. Actually, that's sending it back to this audio interface that's sending it via USB to the computer. So tiny little bit of latency from the MIDI trigger to when the audio actually triggers. We're talking a few milliseconds. That's not a problem. We can actually just fix that by just moving anything back. The problem is there's a little desync issue with the MIDI clock. Oh, you can't hear that, by the way. You still can't hear it. Why is that? Oops. What? Oh yeah, it looped. It looped. Stupid Ollie. Never mind, we can actually just fix this. So just yeah, yep. Melody hair lower. I kind of like it like that. It's kind of loud and aggressive. There's still some EQ and some, so we might be able to tone down some of the frequencies. So right now we're not playing any of the media, we're playing the recording. Okay. Maybe a very light reverb on the whole mix as a whole. You have to be careful with just adding too much, so I'm just gonna add standard, maybe a little bit of compression initially. Actually, I should be putting all that on the master. It's surprisingly normalized already as it is. How do I usually add the compression? On the master, I usually add it at the beginning. So in the incoming signal, I just compress that and then I limit at the end. School of thoughts. I usually have compression, delay, reverb in my chain. On the master chain, compression, delay, reverb, EQ, and then an imager, like ozone imager or something like that, just to widen the sound, and then a limiter afterwards, just to make sure that nothing peaks. Now, I set my compression typically so that it doesn't peak. So the limiter is just a security, just in case I add extra stuff in afterwards. But I'm usually careful not to. It's just the limiter is a security that I got used to adding afterwards. That's the same chain I use for the covers, I use for everything. It's what you know. You know, after a while, you just learn to work with what you're used, the chain you're used to working with. So everything sort of works together as opposed to trying to force things to work. But it's just it's my preference. Some people like to have the reverb before the delay. Some people like to have the compression at the end. Yeah, it depends. It depends on your preference, and depends on which way you're looking at the chain of events. So I'm just looking at this unprocessed. I just want to compress it slightly before I apply any sort of dynamic changes or other dynamic changes, like a delay that will actually just change the shape of this. So because if I put a delay before and then I put a compression afterwards, I'm not seeing any of this. Like, all this is irrelevant once you start putting a delay, because now you're introducing extra echoes and peaks and different stuff. So that's my train of thoughts. I just compress what I see here, and then I apply other stuff. And then, yeah, the EQ, I like to work on the EQ once I've pretty much applied everything else. So that's why it comes after the compression and after the delay and reverb. And anything that's in there. So right after the EQ, I apply ozone imager, which I'm very fond of. I overuse that probably, and then a limiter. Just find the train of thought interesting. Yeah. It's different people have different approaches for mastering. It's not quite mastering yet, but yeah. So, does it need a delay? I don't think it needs a delay at all. It's don't need a delay. Usually I leave the limiter around 3, something like that. Some people like to have it at 6, but it's just I like that sort of loud, fat sound. You can bring it to 0, but then you've no margin for any other dynamics. So I like it to leave it at -3, even though it's at the end. But then because after that I do a just general normalizing and mastering, just that brings everything to a sort of flat level. And then, so that's my last one, but in the middle I will put it might not work. Sometimes ozone imager doesn't quite work with synth stuff, but I like that. It just widens the sound so much. always do EQ first. You need the sound balance right before anything. Fair enough. That's your ear. That's the way you work. If you, the danger is to listen to some of the tutorials online, and some people will give you different type of advice, and it's not that they're wrong or anything like that. It's just that it's what they're used to and what they work with and what makes sense to them. But what makes sense to you might not necessarily make sense to me. You know, so but that's actually a. That's actually I like the idea around it. You want everything to sound right before you apply any EQ, which is that's just as valid as saying you want compression first, because you're compressing what you're actually seeing in terms of peaks here. You know, so for me, my visual, my eye, like I'm visual more than audio minded, whatever the word is. So I would see all these peaks and I'm going, okay, I need to first smooth that a tiny bit before I do anything to it. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly, Althagorn. It's a matter of experience, and it's a matter of just practicing. You know, what works for you. That's really that's really it. Yeah, that's what makes you, and you're right, you're absolutely right, that's what makes you sound like you. Like, if you follow too many tutorials, you end up sounding like everybody else. That's the danger of just of you know, try things for yourself, see what works for you. Maybe watch a few tutorials, try them out, watch the guide that says the opposite as well, and try that out, and see where you fall in between those two lines, and that's what makes your sound. You know, that's what makes the banjo gaioli sound is because just I use it the way I do, I think. But I think the danger, if you try to do things the right way, and it's art, there's not really any right or wrong way to do things, but if you try to do things the right way, as most people would teach you on YouTube and on tutorials, is that you'll end up sounding like everybody else. That's the danger. And you see that a lot in a lot of channels that do music. You know, sometimes if you hear them without seeing the visual, sometimes it's hard to say who's who and what makes their sound. You know. So it goes for painting or making art. Yeah, that absolutely. It's just art in general. Just you have to find your voice, your style, and some people have trouble finding that. I think it comes from just taking chances and just trying things out, see what works for you. I'm just repeating myself at this stage. Anyway, what do you think of the Ozone Imager? It's just without. Cool thing about Ozone Imager is it takes the panning. So, like, let's just say I use like the backing on the bouzouki or guitar, I use hard right, hard left, so they're going this way, and it takes the panning of that and actually spreads it over a certain percentage. So instead of just being in one direction right, it actually spreads it slightly, and it creates that sort of 3D effect, which sounds really cool, and it would be really hard to replicate any other way, unless you start bringing some randomizing and spreading of the panning, which is just would take so much resource to do with other plugins. So it does that. It spreads. So this is the width of each sort of panning area, and how much of the stereo effect you want on that. And it's really really cool. Might be different on speakers. We don't know if any of this is all kind of foreign language. It's like everything. It's practice. You know, if you discussed guitar techniques with somebody who's never or doesn't play guitar as well as you do, they might have a hard time understanding you. It's really just yeah, it's just practice and producing and mastering is very much a skill as much as playing an instrument is. Anyway, let's play this from beginning to end. Okay, fade here isn't I feel we could drop something maybe in that mix where the second harmony, sorry, is coming in, because you don't quite hear it enough. But then again, should you hear it? I think you hear it enough. Yeah, fair enough. One last time, and then I think that's gonna be it, folks. All right. I think that's us. Why can't I bring this back? That only took 3.5 hours, plus another 3.5 hours the other night, but it's alright. I used an existing MIDI for it, actually. I didn't start from scratch, so I used the a MIDI that was on Caged Insider, which is pretty accurate. And then what did we do? Because that was a 4-track MIDI, so we just doubled the lead, added a third harmony, added chords, changed the drum completely, and just a kick line, just because. So yeah, there you go. That's Castlevania for Korg Volca Synths. We've got Volca keys, we've got Volca bass, Volca kick. Actually, the only 3 we have, and then we have Roland Boutique, the GU06, GX03, and a Roland Tr-505 drum machine, all playing together, recorded onto one track, and with very minimal, none actually automation. The only automation we have is just that fading at the end, and just a little bit, not actually much. I know it looks like a drastic mastering here on the EQ, but it's actually very relatively gentle, and yeah, sort of minimal mastering here. Saved and secure, and let's render this just in case. Castlevania Vampire Killer. What name should we? We need something. Not Castlevania, but I don't know. Rolandvania, Korgvania, something like that. Synthvania. I can't think of anything. Covervania, Synthvania. Well, it's Vampire Killer is the name of the tune, but synth. I'll think of something. We can think of something tomorrow. The render is loud, really. Could you hear something? I actually, that's interesting. So the render was actually making a sound. Maybe it's an artifact from Real Stream there. It's playing super fast. Really? Okay, that's news to me. I actually didn't hear anything. And I think that's an artifact from the Real Stream plugin that lets me stream the sound that's coming out of it all. Interesting. So sorry about that. It's good to know. Sorry about your ears. It's good to know. Oh yeah, it peaked at +9 for some reason. Let me. I was it's triple steroids. Let me just load the. think it's actually does it normalize? Let me just check. I think it normalizes everything. Yes, I have normalized on. That's why it's louder than the version here. Sorry about that. So next time I'll know if I'll render either off stream or I'll switch off real stream. That took a while, folks, but we're there. We have the first synth cover on on this new setup, and it had to be Castlevania Vampire Killer, of course, because that was the first cover I did on the channel, and new type of covers on the channel very soon. I'll do these. I think instead of doing new covers, I'll do some of the covers that I've covered already with acoustic instruments. So I'll work my way through them, and you saw here, you saw it here first. We'll see. People might not like it on the channel on YouTube. It's YouTube is funny that way, but I'll do more. Plan next is to maybe do some either Mega Man or once I get another Volca FM. I have two now. I'll get a third one. Maybe tackle some of the Sega tune. Maybe something from Outrun or the Grain Hill Zone from Sonic, something like that. And it'd be a cool challenge. Yeah. Anyway, folks, I'll see you tomorrow for Banjo Radio. Have a good rest of the day. Have a good night. It's quite late here. I'm gonna get to bed. Thank you very much for staying with me all this time, and I hope I didn't damage your ears too much. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.